Hey y'all, it's Rich the Recruiter with another episode of Cold Plunge Talks with the most interesting recruiter. I ain't gonna front today. When I was gonna come out here earlier to do the cold plunge, it was 27 degrees, and I ain't gonna front. I said, you know what? I'm gonna wait till it's a little bit warmer. 27 degrees is about negative 27 degrees Fahrenheit is about negative 3 degrees Celsius. Right now it's a steamy 36 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 2 degrees Celsius. So it's definitely warmer out here. Let's see if some of this ice has melted, and there's still ice in here. Yeah, 36 degrees, but still got ice. So, yeah. Judge me if you want. I'm just saying. I think the goal out here is to do these cold plunges, and I'm doing it. 36 degrees is still freaking cold out here. So, without any further ado, let's get up in here, and we'll have our cold plunge talks. Today's a very interesting. I'm going to share a story about a gentleman that I was working with, and I was working with this gentleman. He was interviewing for a job. Ooh-wee. He was interviewing for a job. Woo, man, it's cold. Okay, this gentleman was helping find a job. He was interviewing for a job. He went in, it was a sales job. Everything in this job checked a lot of his boxes. Maybe not all of his boxes, but it checked a large amount of his boxes that he was looking for a job. Okay, I'm looking for work life. Oh, yes. He wanted a base salary with commission. Yes. Company vehicle. Yes. He wanted all those things, and it checked a lot of his boxes. So when he got to the interview, the owner of the company said, I'm interviewing 70 people. Yes, not 70 people. And he was like, I gotta really bring my A game for this process. And I believe part of interviewing is believing in yourself and believing in the opportunity. Back to the story. This gentleman went in there. He knew there's 69 other people that are going against him for this job, and he needs to really stand out. So whatever the hiring manager asked, he talked about it, whether he did that task or duty one time or if he did it 100 times. He talked about it as if he did it on a regular basis, which I believe if you did a certain task or a certain duty or a certain job responsibility once, twice, 5 times, 100 times, if you did it one time, I think you can duplicate that effort. I believe you can duplicate that effort. And timelines are irrelevant. You know, he didn't talk about, oh, well, I did this 5 years ago, or I did this, a year ago, or if I did it 10 minutes ago. It's irrelevant. You get a question from the hiring manager, you answer that question with a similar scenario that would answer that question. So he did that. All the questions, boom, boom, boom. He's answering it, providing great examples of what he did. Obviously, if it was sales. So how he showed how he broke into new accounts, how he was able to build relationships. Long story short, 2 days later, he gets a call from the hiring manager saying, well, the owner of the company, saying, Rich, that was his name. It was between you and another gentleman. I am going to call you tomorrow to tell you who I'm going to decide to go with. So him and I get on a call. We discuss everything. Once we got the call the next day, he got the job. He was able to bring that experience, bring his knowledge of what he did in the past, and show that at the hiring manager with passion. You know, when I say passion, I don't mean like bouncing off the walls passion. I mean the true passion from within for what he did. Building relationships, because sales is nothing but building relationships, communicating, listening, you know, being able to answer questions, you know, in a timely manner. So with that being said, he got this job. Super happy. This is the only time he told me he did this. He got that call on a Saturday. He went to that job. He was actually delivering furniture at that time. And he drove back from being out there in the field, drove back to the warehouse, sent a letter of resignation email over while he was out in the field. And when he got back to the warehouse, his manager said, "Do you realize you quit today?" I said, "Yes." And I think that person I'm talking about was me. This was back 2007. I really wanted this job. I was in a really dark place in my life, meaning just work-wise. I was working like 3 jobs at that time. This was way before I became a recruiter, a career advocate. I'm sharing this story with you because I've been in your shoes. I haven't always been on this career advocacy recruiter side. I've been in your shoes, not knowing, man, I gotta work 2, 3 jobs at a time, 4 sometimes, you know, because you gotta make ends meet. You gotta pay the bills. You gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm not here sharing stuff from experiences I don't know. I've been in your shoes. And I want to be able to provide information that's gonna help you, encouragement. And I'm gonna tell you, I've never quit a job without giving a notice. That day, I talk about toxic environments. That environment was toxic. I did what I have to do because I gotta provide for my family. All my kids were young at that time. They're all grown and out of the house now. But at that time, they were all young and in the house. And I had to provide. I couldn't be without a job. So I'm out there humping. So I'm sharing this once again to let you guys know that there's hope out there. You got to believe in yourself. When you're out there interviewing, believe in the opportunity. I'm going to talk more about the belief aspect and the opportunity aspect and what I've developed based on that and based on some fundamental life principles that will help you land that job. This has been Cold Plunge Talks. Woo! With the most interesting recruiter. You know what, y'all? I'm getting out of here. Have a great day.